中の心と物質
Crack rock, crack rock.
Crack rock, crack rock. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, you know, that's just my favorite saying. I just, like, when I wake up and I'm having a good day, I stretch out, I'm like, crack rock.
Someone's sweet baby right now. Somebody's beautiful daughter is doing crack rock in Los Angeles. And, that sucks. Like, they were being cradled as a kid, and then they just, right now, are on the streets.
They were probably being told, you know what, you're going to be so...
Little crack rock baby.
Yeah, they're
also talented.
Yeah, not that. She was probably raised to be like, oh, you're going to be so successful.
I can't wait till you're the president.
Wow, like you're going to be so amazing when you grow up.
Oh, my little Angela. And then, you got $1. Angela. You got $1.
Hey, my name is Angela. Can I get $1?
And you're like, yeah, sure, Angela. Whatever. You're cute.
Yes. You want to know what I'm going to do with this $1?
You know who you sound like? You sound like motherfucking Fallout. The people,
the ghouls.
The ghouls. That's exactly what you sound like.
I as soon as you said that, I kind of like envisioned it. But
if you look up ghouls Fallout, what is it, Vegas or 3?
Any of them,
any of them, all the ghouls, exactly what you sound like just now.
Yeah, I'm one of the ghouls in the Fallout universe. I don't got a nose.
What do they call body bags or like skin? What is it? The humans?
They call the humans skin bags.
Skin bags, right? Yeah. That's such a great game, Fallout. Jesus Christ.
I love the little sayings when like you're sneaking around and like someone catches you for a second and then you disappear and they're like, man, I gotta stay off the jet.
Basically, crack rock users. Fallout pretty much depicts crack rock users as jet users in Fallout.
Yeah, that shit. But I'm so excited for the next Elder Scrolls game.
Oh yeah,
because they announced that like fucking maybe 3-4 years ago now. Just Elder a little Scrolls. Teaser of it, like not even any footage of it. Just like. They basically just showed up a landscape of like, this is the new engine we're using for the game and everything. And they just showed the title and that's it.
That's all you need. They don't have the GTA 5.
But I really hope that shit's going to be good, man. Because
Elder Scrolls, I don't know if I'm confusing that with some other shit, but it's like a open world RPG, right?
It's a Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah, because Skyrim is Elder Scrolls 5.
But there's another one, no? There's another one called something else. Elden Ring?
There is Elden Ring. That one is like Dark Souls and stuff.
That would have been crazy.
The same people.
You ever try to think of something and then you're like, wait, what if that's the wrong? Like, how can I phrase this?
Are you about to invent podcasts again, Frankie?
No. Like I was saying, one time I was in a bar with what's it called, with Anthony and Brian, and we were talking about somebody, right? Like not like gossiping. We were just talking about referring to someone, right? And then he was like, "Yeah, their last name is like Rodriguez or something like that." And I was like, "Gina Rodriguez?" And he was like, "No, Rich, that's a porn star." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." You know what I mean? So right now I was like, "Yo, I'm about to mention some shit like the fleshlight."
That once happened to me with my ex, where like But the funny thing is that I didn't like remember that the name that I mentioned was a porn star name.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, isn't she like an actress? And like my ex, like I don't know why they decided to search it up, but they were just super suspicious of that.
They just side-eyed you,
and like
you
and then
whore.
when they searched it up and showed me it was a porn star, I was like, well, how did you know? You're looking at me like that. How did you know?
you disgusting rat.
Like you were suspicious enough to search it up. Like the fuck?
One time I asked, I was like, hey, you know who Lana Rhodes is? For no reason. I didn't even nothing. I don't even think we were talking. We weren't even having a conversation. And I just said it really randomly. And then once I said it, I did the Jordan Peele. I was like, what did I just ask? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, keep it that way.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
I didn't even keep it. I was just like, okay, let's just move on. Please just move on from this conversation. Please do not Google.
You're like.
That's exactly what I was like, bro. Yo, that was crazy. Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought when I was like, is that Elden Ring? I was like, shit. I'm hoping to say a brand of like a butt plug.
Yo, man, I was fucking, one time Jordan came over and I was on more than like about 3 grams of shrooms.
Okay.
and we were watching Elden Ring Let's Plays on the TV.
All right.
And I haven't played Elden Ring, and like I've seen some gameplay here and there, but that was like the most I had seen from the game.
Yeah.
And that night, and dude, I was like, yo, this is insane. Because like I was so into it for whatever they were playing that like I wasn't even looking at the health bars or the stamina bars or
just at the
like
world
that.
they were traveling
I was just looking at the fights and like the world, and I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing too is that even when they would open up the map looks so insane to me. I was like, every time they opened it up, I'd get so excited, and Jordan found it so funny because like by like the third or fourth time, I was just like, yes,
the map,
yes, look at this beautiful fucking map, man. Yo, that shit. Oh.
That sounds awesome. That just sounds awesome, bro. I had an opposite thought. I was like, what's the last movie I'm gonna see? What's the last movie I'm gonna see, right? Not to be like that, not to be like, oh, you know, whatever. I'm just saying, like, is it gonna be in the theaters? It's nothing to do with the map.
Is it gonna be some trash ass
It's
movie?
gonna be some garbage ass. Like just watching it, the worst movie ever.
Did I really have to go out this way?
Is it gonna be like a kids movie? Am I just gonna be at home? You know what I mean? Like it's just, what am I gonna be watching? What's the last movie I'm gonna see? Am I gonna try to plan it, but then like get caught in a different movie? I don't know. That was just a random thought.
But you know, that's what we do on this show,
Yeah,
Frankie. We talk about random thoughts.
We don't have to follow any rules. I got 2 socks on my right foot.
You know,
and
we talk about like even stuff that's like, I don't know, going on in the earth,
in our minds.
and that's why it matters.
This is Earth Mind Matter. Welcome back to the show. I'm Frankie.
I'm Javi.
And we're back to the show, like I just said.
Yeah, like he just said, motherfuckers. God damn
I
it.
just said that. And if you're listening to us, thank you for listening. Make
Always,
sure you
always.
follow our socials, Earth Mind Matter Pod.
Just throw that out right there.
just please, just fucking give us a like or two. Goddamn, we're working. We're here on a Sunday. It's fucking early.
It's the Lord's Day.
Jesus Christ.
I should be out on my knees begging for.
Hey, no kidding.
I should be on my knees begging for these likes, guys, but I'm not going to. You want to know why? Because you're gonna like it anyways.
Yeah, and if you don't, fuck it, bro. And also follow our YouTube page, Earth Mind Matter.
And the episodes haven't been thrown up onto YouTube yet.
But don't worry, they will.
They will be.
They will. Stop worrying. Stop worrying.
I'll throw it out there. But
and TikTok, Earth Mind Matter Pod.
TikTok, Earth My Matter Pod. But I'll throw it out there too. The first episode back, episode 49, has been remastered for anyone who hasn't listened to it yet or just wants to go back. You know, I know people like to rewatch shit.
Hell yeah.
Whatever. So episode 49 has been remastered. Just in terms of that, the quality is slightly better. Not like it's not going to be IMAX, but it's slightly better than before. Color accuracy is a little better, things of that nature. So it should be a better looking episode overall.
And episode 51.
Episode 51 has been officially repaired.
Shit sounds schmecky.
Yeah. So that took a while, but yeah, we're getting there.
Gotcha.
You know, we were on hiatus, guys. All right, give us a break.
Earth Mind hiatus, bro. Out of here,
but
man.
we're back. We're going through the episodes as we do.
We're golden.
We're golden.
We're golden as fuck.
Fucking last week was the AMC section where we talked about Mad Max, Fury Road.
Great movie, great fucking movie. Really, definitely a great movie.
Yeah.
Nah, it was fucking awesome. That movie, I think, if you're ever just bored and want to watch something, nothing too crazy, because I feel like that's what happens when you try to pick something in a wide selection of movies like Netflix or some shit like that. You're like, damn, do I want to be heavily invested in a storyline right now, or do I want to like get to know all these characters and this and that? So with Mad Max, you literally just gotta sit back and be like, okay, like you don't gotta worry about none of that bullshit.
That brain of yours, buddy.
Just turn that shit off. Just get ready for some cool shit, some great lines, some titties, and then like just enjoy the movie because it's so simple. That's literally what we said the last episode, a little more in depth, but it's a great film.
And it won no awards either.
No awards, 0 awards. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I saw the highlight, and like when you cut out to the end, I was like,
6 Oscars, bro. 6 Oscars. Javi's like, I don't think I won any award.
that's what I get for winging it.
Always gotta do your research.
But you know, we're back again to the news section of the show.
Hell yeah.
The next next 2 episodes, or sorry, wait. No, wait, last episode we talked about Good Asian.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Mad Max.
Whoops.
Mad Max is just the last one that came out.
Yeah, we're like a little ahead of schedule, finally.
Yeah.
So disregard what we just said.
But still watch Mad Max.
Still watch it. But last week we covered The Good Asian, and then we talked about Donald Trump sneakers. We talked about Hawaii, Asians. We talked about the dentist, all that stuff. So if you want to hear any of that stuff, just check out any old episodes. Check out our old episodes where we were belligerent and talked about Pornhub. Talked about that's about it.
We just only talked about Pornhub the whole time.
Pretty much. Hell yeah, bro. We just looped that. Pretty much. That was the whole episode.
But, so I'm hosting this episode. Next episode, we're on episode 55 now. And
hell yeah.
We're on the news section.
Yes, we are.
So I got 2 topics for you.
2 topics.
2 topics.
2 topics.
The first one is a quickie.
Yeah.
The second one is a little more involved.
Nice.
And so for the first quick, I'll just throw it out there for the second story because it's more involved. I actually have a lot more of that knowledge just mentally.
Nice. Better that way.
So, way to go, Link. You were just watching like, whoa. But for this first one, I definitely have some more notes written for and stuff, even though it's a quickie.
Yeah.
And there's a clip attached with it as well that I'll show you in a second. But this quickie I have written down as George Santos versus Jimmy Kimmel.
Of course. Of course.
But, so for anyone who doesn't know who George Santos is, or hasn't listened to the show before, well, we covered him on the show.
No, I'm saying, but he lies so much that we really
no one knows who he is.
Exactly.
But for those who don't know, I wrote it down as, remember our boy George Santos for episode 47? Fucking the disgraced New York Republican who was expelled last week from the House of Representatives after being charged with multiple counts of fraud and stealing from donors, lying to Congress about his wealth, collecting unemployment while very much employed, using campaign contributions to pay for personal expenses like designer clothing, making unauthorized charges and credit cards belonging to said donors, amongst many other things. Remember him?
I remember him.
Real piece of shit, I know.
I remember. And he had glasses.
But I mean, like, you know, we might remember him. You remember this face though?
Oh man, come on. Look at can't go wrong, George Santos.
Look at that face.
George Santos.
Oh man,
he's just a happy motherfucker, bro.
He's just got such a good little face. And you know Jimmy Kimmel, right?
I know Jimmy Kimmel. Blackface. He did blackface.
That was a thing. That was a thing.
Which is basically like the same thing as George Santos, right? They both pretended to be someone else, you know, for the sake of the public.
I think that's why they're clashing. You know,
so, you know who else did blackface? I think Jimmy Fallon did blackface also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did an impression of Chris Rock. Yeah, people love Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel did an impression as a basketball player. I think so.
I can't remember what he did, but that sounds about.
It's just crazy, man, because blackface is so. You could have done it. That was the one thing you could have gotten away with. I think so. I think Prince Andrew did blackface.
I mean, I think the most tasteful blackface was RDA in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, but he killed that shit though.
That's what I mean. Most tasteful because it's like he can kill that shit.
No,
like,
it wasn't Prince
even
Andrew.
as a kid, I didn't even know that was Robert Downey Jr. Like the whole time, I was like, "Yo, where's Robert Downey Jr.?"
You went retard. Never go full retard. Yeah, no, but the Justin, what's his name? Trudeau. He did blackface. He dressed as Aladdin. Which is, I think, crazy. He went a little too dark for that one.
Damn, that's the dark side of the moon right
I'm just
there,
trying to think of all my blackface facts. Who else did blackface?
Let me just take out my black book of blackface facts.
It's just a bunch of white pages colored in black. Whoa. Damn, man. Robert Downey Jr. killed that shit.
He really fucking did, man.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Mexican. I told you this.
I actually knew about that too. Even before you brought it up to me. Because I on Reddit that they were going to do it with Jamie Foxx and everything.
I wish he did that shit, man. That been but you know, can't make fun of Mexicans.
Can't.
It's just not in good taste. I'm not biased or whatever.
You just can't
I'm
do
even
it.
Mexican. I'm just saying. You know,
everyone knows that you're just a spit. So
exactly. Anyway, I am.
So. Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
For those who don't know, Late Night of Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC, which first aired back in January 26, 2003 at 12:05 a.m. following his time as Comedy Central host. Now, 21 years later, is leading late night talk show host game with his most watched fall in 2023 since the year 2020, and currently surpassing NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon by 35% as, again, the #1 late night talk show today, amongst many other things.
Damn.
You know him. He's a real piece of shit. Yeah. But look at that face.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's face, pretty happy motherfucker.
So, the thing that's going on between these two right now is that after George Santos made a fool of himself and basically fucked himself over, kicked himself out of Congress. He needed a way to make some money, to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And so what he started doing is something that other like sort of influencers and celebrities do and stuff, where they will record cameos.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They'll do little recordings.
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna talk about, but I didn't look into the video. But continue. Sorry.
So George Santos was doing little recordings and stuff, little cameos for people and whatever, getting paid for it. And so what this dude did is that he made 14 fake accounts and asked George Santos to say a bunch of different things, whatever. Yeah. And Jimmy Kimmel had George Santos do this.
That's actually very genius.
And put those clips on a skit on his show one night. And it's kind of a long video because he got a lot of footage, because out of the 15 things that he was able to send, George Santos did about 6 of them. Okay. So he still did a good amount of them. But yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Previously on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
I am literally freaking out right now. I have no idea how this possum got in my house and up into my tree. And I'm trying to get him out, but it will not let me. And I just don't know what to do. I don't know how I got in here. I don't leave my doors open. Somebody help.
From Hollywood.
Wait. I'm mad confused. It's Chris Christie's fat ass. But go back to the Chris Christie and this. We'll cut out the dead air. But a little back, the Indian guy. Yeah. Okay. On screen right now is Chris Christie and this dumbass called
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Put the name in. This dumbass. I mean, they're just so stupid. That's all. It's fucking. Look at that dumbass face.
He's got such a big nose.
No, this guy.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about Chris Christie.
He's Jewish, man. That's racist. No, but this Indian. No, I don't think he's Jewish. He's definitely Italian. Look at the. No, but the Indian guy. What he wants to do, I don't know if you've heard about it, but he wants to. So if you're from, not from this country, like say you came to this country illegally, and then you had children, your children are obviously what's it called, citizens, right? Mm-hmm. But what he wants to do is that he wants to send immigrants back home to their country and the children born here back to the country as well. It's like saying basically like you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. So even if you had kids on U.S. soil, which officially makes you a citizen, he wants to send all these people back. And I mean, I think it's Indian. I'm pretty sure he is. It could be something else. My bad. Sorry, guys. India? Nah. What's it called? So yeah, it's crazy fucking antics that he wants to pull, and it speaks on what we did. We talked about last episode with the Mad Max, where they basically deported about like a shitload of Mexicans, and most of them being born on American soil just for political gain by I forget some bitch ass president, but yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that sounds like I didn't even know that, but that's just that sucks.
That's
like,
happening.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's happening now, and he's running for the Republican.
That just
race.
seems so like hypocritical against like what is the sort of the American dream or like what the American tale is. Exactly. Like people come to this country to build a new life.
Exactly.
And it's like, imagine if just some dude's just like,
get the fuck out of here.
Too bad, buddy. Get the fuck out of here.
And I get it to the point because immigration right now is crazy. I don't. That's a whole different topic. It's crazy right now. And you got the Venezuelans fucking shit up in Times Square. Jesus Christ. You heard about the Venezuelans
yes.
fucking up the police officers? God, bro. Fucking Jesus Christ. Mexicans would never. No, I'm kidding. Just saying. We just behead you. Nah. But it's just insane. It's crazy to me that's happening right now. Not to bring down the mood.
No, I mean,
I just seen this dumbass face. And,
I feel you, man. I just like I'll just say that it's difficult for me to how to sort of respond to the whole immigration thing. Just because. Not that I necessarily don't want to upset anyone, but it's just I genuinely just don't know how to feel about it.
It's a shitload of. It's a huge topic.
Yeah, because like personally for me, it's just more so like. I see a lot of patients come into my job and they complain about these immigrants and stuff. And they complain about how like, they're taking our taxes and this and that.
They
and whatever.
took it
basically that and how they're getting everything just sort of handed over to them. And like that is happening for sure. But what I just find so difficult is when they start saying like, oh, they're just bringing all these killers and rapists and things like that into the country. That's where it gets a little iffy for me because it's like, we have killers and rapists that were born here. Like,
that's a good ass point.
So it's just like, Yeah, like it's impossible to vet every single person that comes into this country.
Exactly. And you can't even count how many people are coming into the country illegally, because that would be the whole. That's besides how would you even calculate that number?
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it's a mixture of everyone coming in. That's a great point that people are being born here committing the same crimes. I just think I heard one thing that was crazy. This is not even about immigration, and we'll get off the topic because it's getting way too political. But the whole Ukraine aid, and the money we spent on Ukraine, the one thing I heard was this. It was like, why not, if we had just used all that money we sent over there to just fix, inner city like problems and like fix America's problems, which now I sound mad like, MAGA, but like that's like $7 billion that was sent over to Ukraine that, we promoted so much. And not for nothing, bro. I don't hear one motherfucker out here talking about Ukraine at all. I get the Palestine things happen right now. I guess that's a huge thing. But where the fuck was that energy for Ukraine? Like, Ukraine is still there suffering. They're losing more now than ever to Russia, and they lost a major sector. And now everybody's like, yeah, but we good. They're good. And I'm not undermining the Palestine thing. I'm just saying that it's insane. And that so much stuff happens here where, people. I remember Kanye had a great neutral response. And Link is like, shut up, free Palestine.
Right? Yo, this is like the loudest Link has been since we came back.
Link is like, yo, get off this topic.
The guys, shut up.
No, they asked Eric Adams, and imagine I confused Eric Adams and Kanye. No, but they asked Eric Adams, they were actually pretty funny. He was coming out of cab or some shit, and they were like, Eric Adams, what is your comments on the Free Palestine movement or the Gaza thing, whatever? And he's like, bro, this motherfucker comes up to the camera and he just whispers. Not whispers, he says it, but just face first. He says, free the hostages. And then he just walks away. I'm like, damn,
what
Erica.
The fuck? Imagine you just put on his sunglasses after that.
And a yarmulke. He's
just like, free the hostages.
But he just walks away, which is a crazy response. But obviously he's pro-Israel or whatever. But Kanye West was asked the same question. And Kanye said, we'll put the clip up if anything also, but he said something along the lines of, look, so many people are dying in Chicago every single day. My focus is more on Chicago and, this and that. And I was like, a lot of the comments were even saying like, that's actually a pretty smart answer in terms of PR, and not to like go outside the question, and
right.
not to, and not to like overlook it, but to say my main focus is where I'm from personally, and the deaths that are happening there, because Chicago was some crazy shit. Yeah, so
I'm just pro.
That's what I'm saying. Me too, bro. Me too. But yeah, that was our serious 10 minutes.
our serious beehole.
Hell yeah.
But, I found the section here where Jimmy Kimmel has a section on his show called Will Santos Say It. And so this is what it is.
Will Santos Say It, okay? So all right, so this is the request. The request was, George, please congratulate my friend Gary Fortuna for winning the Clearwater, Florida beef eating contest. He ate almost 6 pounds of loose ground beef in under 30 minutes, which was a new record. Not feeling great right now. Doctor thinks he'll be released from the hospital soon. Please wish him a speedy recovery. All right, Will Santos Say It. Let's find out.
Hey, Gary Fortuna. George Santos here. I just wanted to stop by to congratulate you for winning the Clearwater beef eating contest. Eating 6 pounds of loose ground beef in under 30 minutes is a all-time new record, which is amazing and impressive. Congratulations for the win. I know you're feeling a little under the weather, but I hear from a great source that the doctor said that you'll be released from the hospital soon and recover well. Look, have a speedy recovery and then enjoy the festivities of the end of the year. Bye.
Cold bye.
So that's just like a little sneak peek of some of the shit that he was having George Santos say.
What a whore.
Honestly, though.
I mean, that's what Cameo is.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny.
So what ended up happening is once that got aired, George Santos was like,
he got a little upset.
What? And he started suing Jimmy Kimmel. And basically started suing Jimmy Kimmel for defamation and public fraud, and just being like, yo,
Why you do that?
Yeah, you hurt my feelings. I'm George Santos.
Exactly.
So it's just that's the story right now because it's still pretty
It's still
new.
going.
It's still developing. So
Jimmy Kimmel was probably lawyered up the ass. He probably already knows his way around that.
oh yeah.
It's so interesting, man. But he just wanted some money. George Santos just wanted some money, man.
I just find it so funny because it's like, dude, like you are literally offering this as a service, and it's like it's not anyone's fault but your own, buddy. Like sorry, Santos. Like I love you. I love your smile. Like can we? I'm gonna
There's a little close up on.
I'm gonna full
George
screen.
Santos.
I'm gonna full screen this shit. Boom! Look at that beautiful fucking smile, man.
And he wasn't even wearing glasses in the cameo, bro.
Yeah.
He respected Jimmy Kimmel's time. That's mad funny, bro.
So that's what's going on with George Santos and Jimmy Kimmel. Funny little thing.
Yeah.
And I just find it so fucking stupid because it's like, George Santos, shut up. Like, just seriously, man, this guy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, no, it's fucking insane, bro. I don't know what he's gonna do in the future, but I'm sure he's gonna stay in the headlines. Definitely not politics, but maybe he'll be an actor since he lies so much.
He'd be a great actor.
He'd be a great actor, bro. I'm telling you, bro. No, man.
But that's a quickie for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So like I said, real quickie.
Okay.
But the next topic that I got for you is something a little more interesting.
Okay.
I brought it up to a few other people as well that had no idea what I was talking about when I brought it up. So I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna be a good topic.
Hell yeah.
But and I actually had sort of brought this up to you before one day when we were texting. Because you're always joking around about the iPhone Android thing, this and that. And I remember one day, I forget what it was, but you were just like, "Oh, did this send correctly? Whatever."
Yeah.
Like you sent something like an iMessage thing, and I was like, "No, I got it correctly." And you were like, "Oh yeah," because I just figured since you have an Android prehistoric thing, this and that, and I said something along the lines of like,
nothing
don't
but
worry.
accurate thing.
And I said something along the lines of like, "Oh, don't worry, buddy. Like once we get once you guys finally get RCS and this and that, like all our messages are gonna send perfectly fine. We're never gonna have any issues."
And tell people what RCS is.
And that's what the topic is today.
Perfect.
So, and you were like, "I don't even know what the fuck you said to me. Get that black magic away from me."
And to clear it up more, because for me, when it comes to like this technology shit, don't get me wrong. I know how to use basic technology and I'm pretty okay with it. But meeting Javi and a couple other people, I'm dumb. Like there's a lot of things when it comes to technology, like what he just said, RCS. Like I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Nor will I take time to Google it up. Nor will I read the article if I even did Google it and try to understand it. So basically, his phone is Android. It's quick, so you can continue with the story. But this is from my grasp of it. Is that when I say photos from my iPhone to your Android, sometimes you don't receive it, and now they're updating the service altogether, so Android's able to receive iPhone's messages better.
Basically,
that's a simple, very simple.
So
that's what I'm understanding of it.
I had Josh came up with a really good way of like sort of summing it all up, which I'll say at the end of it.
Okay,
but to break it down, essentially, is that the way that texting works right now is that you either just text with SMS/MMS, which is just the basic form of texting that's been going on for
it's a standard messaging system. Nice.
And multimedia system as well for MMS. But that's the way people have been texting since like texting has been a thing.
Since cavemen.
And since the caveman. Since that caveman episode of SpongeBob.
Exactly.
But and then the iPhones came along and then they introduced iMessage. The difference between iMessage and SMS is that iMessage is not texting.
It's better.
I think some people actually do think that iMessage is texting.
Yeah.
But
what is it?
iMessage is just DMs. It's just like Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs. It doesn't work off of data. It works off of just like internet.
Yeah.
So
I've noticed that because one time I was using the phone for my job and the message didn't send the blue message, the iPhone message. That's how simple I speak, the blue message. And then I tapped it. You know how it has an error on the right side with the exclamation point? And then I tapped it and they gave me an option to send as text message instead.
Right.
So then it sent, but then it was green and I was disgusted. So I threw the phone out the car.
Yeah. So that's basically what it is. So that's the difference between like iMessage and texting.
Gotcha.
Texting is like like SMS is the standard form of texting. iMessage is something that Apple introduced to basically like one up it, to have it a little more fluid.
Functionality,
features, all that shit.
Gotcha.
So and that's where this whole discourse comes with the whole green bubble versus blue bubble thing, whatever the case is.
I might have read the same article that you have.
Well, it's actually popping up a lot more now that I'm seeing it because of the news that RCS is coming to iPhone this year. And so what RCS is, this was introduced some years back now, about 3 or 4 years ago now on Android.
Yeah.
At this point, it's adopted over 1 billion users now on Android. So there's now 1 billion people using RCS over SMS.
Yeah.
And so again, what RCS is, it stands for Rich Chat Services.
But is RCS basically Android's iMessage?
Essentially.
Okay.
And it's just, but what I think the wording with that is that it's not Android's iMessage.
It's an overall.
It's just overall.
But then this overall like blanket of like messaging, right? A messaging service. Does it work off data or is it function just like iMessage does? How you
it works off data.
So then you would actually be paying for this through your phone bill.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a big difference between RCS and iMessage. And with RCS coming to iPhone, all those like iMessage features, all those RCS features, because with RCS, it's become more and more advanced throughout the years and stuff.
Rich chat system.
Services.
Okay.
It's become a lot more advanced in the few years that it's been out. Like, you know, we send each other stickers all the time now and shit like that.
I just figured out stickers, bro. It's crazy.
So it's just, you know, we like on Android, we have the stuff like stickers. The features of RCS are like some of the basic iMessage stuff, like read receipts, sent messages, stickers, high quality images and videos. Stickers. But like reactions and stuff like that. And
you ever send I can't even send it to you because you have Android, but if you send the iPhone message, you can send it with like fireworks in the background.
I was just gonna mention that one, like
So cool.
like the reaction messages and shit like that. All that is now on RCS, and more of that stuff is coming to RCS over time.
Okay.
And so the big thing is that RCS is coming to iPhone this year. This was announced late last year. They haven't said when it's going to be coming to iPhone exactly this year, but we're hoping that it'll come by the summertime.
Nice.
And so what that's going to do is that the way that Josh sort of broke it up, like once I explained it to him, is that he said, okay, so they're making it crossplay.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
So I was like, yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
That's entirely what's happening.
That's my level of fucking grasping. Even though, okay, you did a great job explaining it. That makes sense. But then, so it won't get rid of iMessage completely, right? It would just, I keep saying function, but basically it's the best way to say it. iMessage will be compatible with RCS. Right?
Not that it'll be compatible, but just more so like they're like, iPhone is ditching SMS. They're no longer going to use SMS for texting, and they're only going to use RCS.
Oh, okay. So SMS is going to be like the Blu-ray of, DVD players?
Yeah, pretty much. Like
now it's going to be, what do they use now instead of Blu-ray?
Streaming. I don't know.
There we go. Yeah. But basically buying DVDs is going to be the SMS, and the new thing will be streaming, aka RCS.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So SMS is very outdated at this point because like, for anyone who has friends that have the opposite phone and whatever, it's like you already know what it's like sending them a picture or a video.
Yeah,
and
bro,
that
I
shit
can't
looks
send you
like trash.
shit. Oh, I just sometimes my pictures just won't send to you. Yeah. So that just sucks. I'm just here waiting. I'm here like, damn, this was funny 2 minutes ago. It's just funny.
It's shit like that. So it's like it's gonna make things a lot more simpler when it comes to texting between iPhone and Android. And it's just the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because people didn't understand what RCS was when I explained it to them, and they didn't know it was coming to iPhone this year. So I just figured it'd be a good little topic to bring up.
Yeah.
But on top of that as well, I find this interesting because I've learned that in other parts of the world, the whole green bubble, blue bubble discourse is not a thing. Like
it's just America.
It's primarily just America
because we fucking rule.
Where I don't have the exact number, but a majority of teens in America have iPhones.
It's so funny. And then in some third world countries, they don't have phones. They just have like a rock. And you're like, yeah, they don't talk about that outside of America.
It's just what I found
so
really.
A kid with a cup and a string.
They're
it's like your cup is blue. My cup is red.
That's pretty good. But I just it's because even in other parts of the world, it's primarily in America where iPhone is the most dominant device that people use and stuff, even for our listeners.
And
like,
DR is a bunch of Androids.
I mean, basically in most other parts of the world, like Android is the more dominating.
Do you know why? Do you have any reason for that? Like, is it price? Is it because of just accessibility?
It's a mix of sort of all those things where it's like in some parts of the world, like because iPhones are expensive and stuff, and they're not as affordable as certain Android phones. Because Android phones can be very budgeted, or like you can get like a $400 smartphone.
And I will say, this is not like in reference to that, but a lot of people that, you know, where I work, a lot of people that do DoorDash to come pick up the food where I work, they all have Androids, which is not to speak on that only, but it just like a lot of them only speak Spanish. A lot of them, I assume, are from here, you know, as well. And nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's beautiful. But they all have Android. And the only reason I mentioned it, like, oh, how do you know this? Because they have to show you the message. And the other day, some guy comes up to me. And it's raining, right? So he has his whole rain gear on, and his phone has like a plastic covering, and he has gloves on. And so he's like in Spanish, he's telling me like, "Yo, confirm it." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Confirm it. I can't have gloves." I was like, "Bet." And so he shows me how to confirm everything on the DoorDash thing, and like I go to like 6 steps, and I tell him, I'm like, "Yo, you want? I could deliver the food for you too." little work joke.
Get a load of this guy. He's got jokes. He's got jokes. He's fucking over here like. No, but
yeah, he had ultimately what I'm trying to say is that he had an Android, and I'm assuming that, you know, you make what you want of that, but that's my whole experience. And yeah, I mean, Androids are way cheaper too, and not in a bad way. Just
because it's just that's definitely one factor. Like they are just generally cheaper. Like yes, there are expensive Androids like your Samsungs or like even Samsung makes cheap phones too. But it's like more so like your top of the line Galaxy phones or your Pixel phones from Google and whatever. Like or even like OnePlus is another Android company that like started off as a budget company and has slowly become more premium over time.
They have gaming phones now too. Phones you can game on. Stuff like that.
And it's just I think what some people don't really realize with Android is that I think some people just only look at Android as like, oh, you have a Samsung. And it's like I think
I don't look at it that at all. I actually completely forgot that Samsung was affiliated with Android.
Oh, I mean, I know you don't because you're a smart guy. You big brain, buddy.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But I just feel like more general people who just kind of like use their phone to just use it don't like really think too much of like, oh wait, there's like a million Android companies.
Oh, okay.
Like you got like I mentioned the big ones, Samsung and Google. Those are like the two big Android companies right now. But then you also have like OnePlus. You also have Xiaomi. You also have Huawei. You also have
Huawei is so interesting. Because we're not allowed to use Huawei here, right? It's only China.
We're not allowed to use it here.
I heard it's so good though. I heard Huawei is actually a really advanced phone, and that but it's only because they're scared China's gonna spy on us. TikTok.
But follow Earth My Matter Pod on TikTok.
Please do. Please invade our algorithms, our minds, our matters. What's it called? You should look it up real quick. But there was Tim Cook and Apple, right? They were.
I think it's funny that you know that who Tim Cook is, but you didn't know who Bob Iger was.
Yeah, Tim Cook, I just know because I have an iPhone. No, I'm kidding. Look up his response to them using like slave labor to mine the cobalt, I think so, for the iPhones. It might not be cobalt, but basically what I'll say while you're Googling that is that there's a Joe Rogan interviewed some guy. I didn't watch the interview, but this is why I don't know too much about it. If I had watched the interview and I knew the facts, I would talk about it more. But basically, they unsheathed this whole idea, this truth that they use a lot of child labor to, get the materials to make iPhones. And while they're getting paid cents, we pay thousands. Ultimately, like we're just using slaves to use our phones. And they asked Tim Cook to respond. And whatever his response is, I'm not judging it myself. They say that he kind of avoided the question. You have it right there.
I have some of the information here. He definitely does like avoid the question where it was he was asked if they
Tim
can
Cook
guarantee.
is the CEO of Apple, by the way. We never said it.
He didn't? I thought he did.
No.
But they asked him if he can guarantee that cobalt in the phone has not been mined using child labor, and he goes, yes, we can, because we do two things. Well, first of all, I should back up and say our objective over time is to take nothing from the earth to make our products. He added, this is a big idea of not having to mine anything, is to use all recycled material, and today we're using 100% recycled cobalt in the watch and 100% recycled gold, tin, tungsten, and other rare earth materials in the watch. So we're really, really proud of this. But for those products that we still do mine, for some of our other products, we have an intense level of tracing in our supply chain all the way back to the mine and the smelter to make sure that the labor used is not child labor. I think we do a really good job of that.
So he's completely lying, because it's a because that's, you don't have to be a genius to pick that apart and be like, he's avoiding the question, and at the end of it, he kind of slips that in there like, yeah, we do a great job of making sure we don't do that. We don't
slaving children.
We do not slave.
Like, come on, guys.
How many?
Have you felt your Apple Watch? You think small little hands could have made this?
How many times do I? Shut up, slave. How many times do I have to tell you? We do not use slave. You child slave. Yeah. No. I don't know why I brought that up, but I thought that was very interesting.
No, I mean, I think it is interesting because I think also about Ricky Gervais's speech at the Golden Globes.
Oh, when he just comes
years back.
You were there.
Yeah, that amazing fucking
We should throw that
speech.
up. Put that in there. Boom.
But
and then we're back. Yeah, so
that was an amazing speech, and it's just like I remember when he was even mentioning the stuff about like the mines that Apple uses and stuff like that, and Tim Cook's face is just like,
yeah, I mean,
he's like, oh my god.
It's insane, that whole thing. I do want to check out the interview. That's why I do think that Joe Rogan's interviews are so good, because like a lot of them, I only watch the comedian ones, and every now and then I'll watch like there's a lady called Deborah Soh who she talks about like sexual education. Okay. And she has a newer episode out now, but I really encourage anyone that's like interested in learning about that to listen to her older episode. I mean, there's so much knowledge there, and they're like legitimately respected people in their career paths. And so for this person to uncover that, and then for a lot of people to at least now have it in their minds, like I just said that there's slave labor being used to mine cobalt in iPhones, and Tim Cook, CEO, responded to it. I would never have known that shit. That doesn't even sound like a sentence I would say. I
mean, it's dystopian as fuck. It's the future that we live in.
Exactly. And it's just super interesting that, these things are being, clipped and, shorts and stuff like that. And of course it's better. It's like a book. You don't want to just read one passage, an article or whatever. You want to read the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But these Joe Rogan interviews really have some great fucking. If you look up the microplastic and a bunch of stuff that we're eating and everything, it's incredible. And the lady he interviewed is
Shauna Swan
right there, and she's incredible. She's super old, but it's true, man. And fucking, it has to do everything with your biology, how people are being grown, the fertility, the capability of fertility for women, penis and testicle size, sperm count, everything, bro. It's incredible. So. Yeah, I'm just saying, listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and like, basically what that has to do with green and blue bubbles. It's just.
Yeah, ultimate b-hole.
But no, I think to sort of like bring it back, I just like I was saying, in other parts of the world, like
they don't
people don't really give a shit what kind of phone you have. And it's just like we were mentioning, it definitely has to do with other aspects of like, they are generally cheaper. We have all these other options and variety in Android versus like iPhone. But it was just interesting to me is like how I said other parts don't really care too much, but here in America we care so much about what kind of phone you have in your hand.
I wonder how true that is though. I wonder if you go to Europe or if you go to Asia, like if that's true. But
I mean, I searched it up. Like, they're like in other parts of the world, like say like South Asia, for example, like Android predominant, and like, but they don't even make it a thing of like, oh, you have an iPhone? Oh my God, you must be so rich. Like people over there just prefer Androids, and so it's just like
I don't know, because I feel that like you might be right. I'm just saying that as somebody who's like has a lot of money, they would spend more money on like an iPhone 15, right? Because it's a newer phone, or the iPhone 15 Plus, or that new Apple Watch that's like $2,000. Yeah, bro, it's insane. So given that more people with more money spend a lot on things they don't need, I would assume that a higher class of people will have an iPhone, right?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So then it creates this separation of iPhone and Android regardless.
Right.
And I think that's what happens here in America, so focused on money, That's why people. I mean, I genuinely come at the Android for like the capability of it, because they had an Android that exploded in somebody's face one time or something like
The
that.
Samsung phones.
There we go.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the whole thing about it. That's my basis of it. I will always stand with that. But I think that genuinely seems to me what the big separation is, where a lot of people will look at Androids as like, oh, you're so cheap, like you don't have an iPhone, and it's classist, which is hilarious
No,
because it's involved in just the blue bubble, green bubble.
It's entirely classist,
Yeah.
and it's just but that's why I find it so interesting. Where
Yeah.
it's like
it exists, but at a higher scale in America, I would say.
Yeah,
Because there's
because
this huge separation between
as much as I read about this topic,
Yeah.
I can't say for sure like what the higher ups in other parts of the world have in their pockets right now.
Yeah.
I just, from what I read, like more general people, like in say, for example, South Asia, like I just said, generally have Androids over iPhones.
And that just makes sense. And nobody's going to be around texting like, hey, you calling me on an Android? But then some dickhead's going to be like, yeah, but you have the old one or some shit like that,
And it's just, that I didn't see too much of like people like, being super conscious about like what version of the phone you have. But from what I did read, I saw that like, if you have an iPhone, people are just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like they don't say anything more past that. They're not like, whoa, you have an iPhone? Oh my God, you must have so much money.
To be fair, we don't do that here.
but what's interesting is that I knew someone from the Czech Republic. Yeah. And over there, everyone had Androids. And from where they grew up was a very poor area in the Czech Republic. So when they moved here to the US, they bought an iPhone.
Yeah, but they also bought eggs and were like, oh, wow, these aren't moldy.
But that's exactly what it is. So it's like it can be either or. Like it's a bunch of different factors to it. It completely comes down to preference with the person and this and that.
There's no set like general. I mean, there's no universal opinion that
exactly.
It's oh man, this is interesting.
That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because here in America it is so classist, like you were saying, and just how even with this whole thing of RCS coming to iPhone, Apple is still gonna have the separation of green and blue bubbles in their text,
regardless, right?
Regardless.
That's just, but that's a marketing tactic, just in order that really is all just to keep more customers on the iPhone side, because people don't like change. I think,
and that's entirely what it is, and it's just. I find that so interesting because it's like, I think the older that Apple gets as a company, they just released their Vision Pro.
Yeah.
And it's just the older that they get as a company, the more and more they push their what other tech YouTubers talk about is a walled garden.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't understand what that means, I'm at like,
while you're thriving, you want others outwards not to be able to come within this realm unless it's yours.
Essentially,
right?
Like it's a bubble.
Yeah.
It's a walled garden.
It's a bubble? Hold on. All right, cool. I just wanted to do that. You find that bubble, you edit it in. Continue.
But yeah, so it's just when Apple really for a long time has always sold this of like, oh, get a Mac so that way it's the best device that'll work with your iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's just that's even more true today than it was like even 5 years ago, where it's like now with the Vision Pro, you can't fucking do dick without that if you don't if you don't have any other Apple products.
Exactly.
And it's like, yes, you can like, because from what I understand with the Apple Vision Pro, most people like using it for the fact that they get to connect it to their Mac and use like their Mac as like some big ass monitor and have a bunch of screens and whatever.
I also I think with the Apple Vision Pro, there's no like functionality in terms of, oh man, I keep saying that fucking word, Jesus Christ. What I'm trying to say is that it's not meant for like gaming. It's more so meant for like actual work, or like you want to browse the internet and I think the interesting thing with that though is that I think that's what companies are supposed to do also though. Like this is not even to bring it up like that, but what's this guy, the guy's name who with the EpiPen,
Martin Shkreli.
Martin Shkreli. I always, like, what he did was a dickheadish thing, and I always believe that and understand that. But I think the biggest thing he always says is that his job was to bring the most profit to his company. And when you look at it without sentimental eyes, he did his job in that way. Was it terrible for people? Of course, and he's in jail now for being a dickhead. But I don't think they're related completely. I have to go back to that. But I think that's what Apple does so cleverly, and I think with Android and people with PCs and stuff like that also, like, they even in themselves, while disliking this mindset, follow their own same mindset across that wall.
No,
know?
of course.
So they'll be like, yeah, I'm not like that in terms of Apple. I'll only use like these products, you know, because they're better and they will function more, and I have more freedom to. It's like Tesla and cars. People, like you mentioned it before. People don't like Teslas because you're not able to fuck with Teslas because you know about that?
Yeah, the modularity of
exactly.
it all.
So if you want to get your car fixed or whatever, if you have a Tesla, you have to only go to Tesla headquarters. I mean, you know, companies and stuff. While you have like an old, you know, whatever car, you can fix it yourself, modify it. You can put in new parts and this and that. So I think. I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're
it's
getting
the
at.
same
'Cause,
exact
like,
thing. They're both same businesses on
'cause,
opposite spectrums. You know.
I personally feel that I don't think it's necessary for a company to make a walled garden to succeed. I don't think it's necessary, but it's just, you know, Apple kind of leads the pack in that business model.
So does Nike, and so does like Walmart. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like relating Nike and Walmart to the conversation because I'm just thinking more so of like tech companies.
Well, in the sense of like Walmart can only thrive because if it's think about it, if you put a Walmart in New York City, we banned that, right? We didn't allow that to happen because what would happen to all the other places that provided same products as Walmart? They would fail.
Yeah.
Right. So in that sense, almost, you know, it's just. Yeah, you can go somewhere else. You can get like a smartwatch somewhere else. You can do this, but don't you want to come here and get like our cheaper stuff? And you know what I'm trying to say?
No,
Nike, you know, like you want to get shoes that are affordable, go to Models, right? And you can get our shoes there, our cheaper versions, but you don't want to get our high quality, you know, like comfortable shoes that Usain Bolt wears and this, you know, like,
these shoes, they're gonna suck your dick,
and they're gonna make you faster. And these are all like. That's outside, right?
Yeah, that's outside.
The Walkman. What are we talking about? Thank you. No, I just think.
No, I mean, you know, I know what you're getting at in terms of. Like,
it's not the same as the walled garden, but it's kind of there.
Yeah,
you know?
like I think that's just a more general aspect of like sort of capitalism as a whole.
Exactly.
But it's just in terms of like tech companies, like how you were saying that other companies do the same thing, like Apple does. Like you know, I'm a Google guy. Like I have the Pixel, I have the Pixel Watch, I have the Pixel headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so it's just it's very much a thing of other companies
For sure.
It's just what I find interesting in terms of what Apple does is that you can get AirPods for your Android, sure.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get all the functionality.
Yes. I have Galaxy Buds for my iPhone. I don't have all the functionality. Oh, no. I can access the functionality, though. If I want, I just download an app. But it's not vice versa.
Yeah. Like there's no AirPods app to download on Android. And so that's where I feel the intense walled garden from Apple comes in.
There's no need for that.
Like, it's just they don't like to play nice. And it's like, even with the Vision Pro, there's no, I don't think there's Netflix or Hulu on there.
Wow.
Because
they're not affiliated
because
with
they just argue with these companies.
But that's why they have Apple TV, because it's like, you're going to only say, but I think, this is what I'm trying to say, and more so, is that's how a company is able to thrive into the future, I would say.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that like it may seem shitty, and of course it is. It all is. Just the fact that we mentioned the slave cobalt mining, like it's always been shitty. It always will stay that with its history and stuff like that. And what got me the most mad was the wire switch up. The fucking that shit got me tight, because I remember I read an article where it was like, yeah, Apple's gonna do this in the future and fuck everyone, and they did.
Yep.
But my biggest thing is that in terms of the future, and for them to like continue providing people with these products and existing as a company, they have to do this. And it just is logical, because I think I don't know, man. I think in the future, like, I'm not saying Apple will outlast an Android, you know, but
I don't know. I think they could.
That's what I mean, though, and that's just pretty much what they're trying to do altogether.
I mean, yeah,
Apple's trying to be the future, bro.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, like that. That's kind of why I say like they lead the pack in this. It's like other companies copy Apple all the fucking time for that reason, because guess what? The numbers don't fucking lie.
Exactly.
Apple is like one of the most like expensive companies in the world for a reason.
That I don't, in the worst way, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
And it's like
it just has to be, you know?
Like I just find it interesting because it's like I said, I don't think a company needs to do this to succeed. I think you can still succeed regardless if you just have a good product first and foremost.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but then like I also just said, that the numbers don't lie.
Exactly.
Apple is succeeding doing this business model because they've been doing it for years, and they push it even harder and harder year by year.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know,
it's gonna be crazy, bro.
I mean, even with the Vision Pro, like people people have such a love-hate relationship with that headset because
but it's
like,
the first generation. I see some guy who worked at Apple who just said, of course, people are gonna have problems with it. It's the first generation. Like, if you don't have he literally said, if you don't have an overwhelmingly amount of money to like, splurge, don't get this. Like, you get the second generation, get the third generation. They're gonna be better. But if I get the only reason I would get the Vision Pro is to give to my kids so they could give to their kids. I wouldn't even unbox it. I would just be like, sell this in the future,
right?
OG box, whatever, and have it at, like, it's like the first iPhone. This is the first iPhone that you can have right now and sell it. Don't use it because you don't need this bullshit. Working from home is going to be so prominent in the future because of those things. It's going to be crazy, bro. Yeah. We're going to be Wall-E.
I personally love being like a first adopter for things. Like if I had the money to splurge and if I had like a Mac, I'd probably buy the Vision Pro.
Of course. I would love to have one.
Like, And it's just because I love being an early adopter. I love seeing where things go. I love like seeing where they start from
and how they evolve.
Because I had the first Oculus headset, like the very first one before Meta ever bought them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was expensive at the time. It was like $800 when I bought it. And now you can get a Quest 3 for like $500,
so
$500,
good,
$400. So it's like, I paid that premium price early on, but guess what, motherfuckers? Guess what, Jerry? You wouldn't have your Quest 3 if it weren't for me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You went online, you were like, I didn't like this that much. Please make it better.
And it's just that's what I did. Like I don't even think I told you. I actually once got interviewed by Oculus.
No way.
When I was in college. They were like, hey, you wanna do an interview? We'll pay you for this and shit.
How much they pay you?
They gave me like $400.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah,
what
man.
the fuck?
I basically
bro?
paid for like half of my Oculus.
That's amazing, bro. I got interviewed by Google. They paid me like $100. They were like, yo, what do you like about Google Maps?
You're like, I like that it gets me from point A to point B.
Bro, it was the funniest thing ever, bro. I was just sitting because I went to the Google building and I went upstairs with a bunch of other people. By the way, if you're listening, sign up for Google. What is it? Like questionnaires and stuff. Like when you're able to be invited to the Google building and where they will sit you down, take about like an hour or two of your life, and they'll pay you like $120, $130, and they'll just randomly select you if you fit the fields of the research or the study or whatever. And so they asked me about Google Maps, and I was just laughing my ass off. I was just like, I like this, but you know what I don't like? Sometimes like this should be, I just be this and this and this, and they all like we were rotated. They had like croissants and coffee for us and everything. And then I got personally interviewed to make a video for. It was awesome because I didn't talk about the podcast or nothing. I should have shouted it out, but they hooked me up to a mic. And I was on camera and stuff, and they were like, "Don't worry, this is just gonna be for the staff to like, hear you." And I was like, "What's up, guys? We're here talking about what's happening on there." No, but I spoke and I was, made them laugh, and they were like, "Oh, you're a natural." I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much."
You were like Todd and Bojack. Oh, wow!
Exactly. I was like, "Man, thank you, guys." And then they were like, "You could take as much snacks as you want." I was like, "I plan to anyway."
You were like.
But yeah, if you're trying to make an extra buck or some shit like that, go do some Google studies.
Nice, dog.
This is an interesting ass conversation. My brain shifted to which country do you think social media influences the most?
I think at the moment, probably social media influences like countries that are probably going through a turmoil most.
Yeah, like Uganda. No,
because immediately my mind went to like say like Russia and Ukraine and like how we talked about before how there's a sort of like a lot of propaganda going on and like a lot of news outlets not being able to get their information into Russia. And like how people in Russia were just sort of getting fed this propaganda against Ukraine and stuff like that
because the damn Russia really like shuts off the news source and says you're only going to listen to what we provide you with. It's crazy, bro. Yeah,
so it's just that's immediately where my mind went. So it's like I think countries that are going through turmoil like get the most influence, but then also like I think a lot of the 2016 elections and how motherfuckers are really gonna come at me for saying this, but
I hope they do.
But this is factual. I don't give a fuck who says otherwise. It's literally out there because I've had arguments with people about this. But
imagine.
But it is factual that Russia was posting fake Facebook posts during the 2016 election to cause Republicans and liberals to congregate in the same spaces.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard about this on Joe Rogan where basically they would create arguments in the comments for people to get upset about our own election. There's another thing where Oh no, this is different. Sorry, but yeah, no, I've heard about that, and that happens not just with the election, but everything. Like every single, like all this. When you go online, like, and sometimes you'll see one of them shits. Like you'll go online, you see like the black kid playing a trumpet, and they'll be like, "Yeah, well, you know, black crime rate is up." You're just like,
it just says Frankie. I'm like, this motherfucker.
With me, just no, and then somebody comments like, and then somebody comments. Like, oh, you don't have to say that black people commit as crimes. White people commit more crimes than somebody else.
And then it's just a whole thing.
And then somebody responds, well, if you look at the population, the ratio to white people to black people is this and this. And so technically speaking, black people commit more crimes than white people. I'm just saying that because I've seen that same argument 7,000 times. Right? And I'm just like, get this kid off the trumpet, off my algorithm. No, I'm kidding.
This kid fucking sucks.
Nah, I was gonna say either China or places like Korea and stuff, because they're OD on the social media, and I think China has social credit scores now.
Yes,
so that's insane. So that technically would be like the biggest thing because it's affecting what you can access, right? In terms of the world.
When I heard about that, it was kind of like that Black Mirror episode where everyone gets like scores.
Yeah, bro, and that's a great episode. Social credit scores are crazy to think about. And Jesus Christ, bro. But can you imagine, like, say that you drop the N-word or some shit like that, you know?
Your number just goes...
They listen to our podcast.
like this dude's got a fucking 79. So he's like listening to our show. He's having a blast. His roommate comes in. Hey, what you watching? Oh, listening to Earth, Mind, and Matter. Listens to 2 seconds of it. Fucking that score just goes...
Yo, man, that shit is crazy, man. But yeah, yo, that was a good ass topic, man. That shit fucking blew my mind.
So to basically wrap it all up in a nice little ball, you know, like Morty says, just get your shit,
pack
all your shit,
put it in a bag.
Take all your shit, put it in a bag, wrap it up, tie it all together. Just get your shit together.
And then he marches out, and he comes back, and he's like, "Get your shit together."
But basically, that's a green blue bubble discourse. I think hopefully this educates a little people a bit more about like what
green bubbles do.
And what the whole discourse even is, and like how it's really only a big deal here in our country.
Look into cobalt mining.
Social
credit scores.
You know, fucking. All I'm saying is, let's just ditch all these companies. Let's make our own.
Let's do it, man. Let's fucking make our own smartphone. Let's fucking EMM phones, bro. Where you can't text, you can't call, you can only listen to our podcast.
Every ringtone is...
You pick up the phone and hear somebody talking, all you hear is... That's what I was saying, bro. You call 911 and they're like, and you're like, please, I need help, please. And they're like,
oh shit. Go again.
Exactly. But thank you for listening. Again, go to our socials, Earth Mind Matter Pod on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, Earth Mind Matter, no and. And yeah.
And stay tuned for next episode next week for the AMC, where we will be talking about
Saviors by Green Day. Boom. Jesus Christ, what a fucking album. And yeah, bro. Go check out Javi's covers on YouTube.
I do covers.
Javi Blink.
Javi Blink.
Yeah, bro. Go check out my research studies on schizophrenia affecting the brain in terms of kids.
You had a great study about that, my friend.
Like, kids who are 13 and 16 in the ages, in the realms of Chicago and Texas.
And didn't you mention something about Uganda too?
Uganda children, but not the schizophrenia, more so the chocolate they produce. It's very delicious.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out those studies. They're very serious. They're on WebMD. Thank you. This is the show.
Goodbye. And Drake is black and crippled.
Hell yeah.